So with our handsome Mr. K, we're going to do a little bit with some play. And I wanted to use some of this play as some engagement for later. So first we're going to just do a little bit of flirt pull play. Ready? So the benefit of, again, getting some of this lovely play behavior for your handsome guy is that it can give him an outlet that, again, is dog-centric. We've already discussed this a little bit prior, how play can be a great way to build comfort, confidence, resilience, but also at the same time give your dog a healthy outlet. And then help you, again, be part of that bonding experience, which is awesome. So the benefit of a flirt pull, too, as you can see, you can also kind of get him to practice romping and running, even while he's not exerting tons of energy. So I know that at times he is very agile, which is awesome. But again, we don't want to create a puppy that is so physically fit, you'll never keep up. So for anybody's babes, if it's always go, 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 and it's only a lot of physical exercise that gets them tired, you may find it's going to be more and more and more of that physical exercise to try to exhaust them down the road. So we want to make sure that when we're practicing, there's also some settling between, or there's some check-ins. There's going to be other skills too that you want to throw in, which could be, for example, name recognition or doing some sits. So he's a very agile boy. So you'll see that I kind of keep the toy low on the floor, but I make sure that there's lots of big swooshing motion. So that way he has nice big laps to run. So I don't want it to be so hard that he can't catch the critter, but I also don't want it to be where he is leaping into the air to try to reach it like we've mentioned in the past, because he may be able to land it quite nice, but I just don't want him to exert so much energy that he might land funny. So definitely getting him to practice grabbing and letting go, and at times running for it is okay. But make sure the flirt pull toy, I feel, stays lower to the floor is easier, or to the ground. And then make it where, as he's doing a great job, you maybe extend the movement sort of in big loops or figure eights. And at times too, you can even walk around the yard or the environment to get your dog up and moving too. So you'll see with Mr. K, sometimes I'm just moving it around. So he has to then go ahead and walk and or trot and get some energy out this way too, versus having to always be chasing it at the highest level. But I do like to have him go from here and practice also relinquishing the item. So ready, Kugel? Ready? Drop. So we'll do a little find it. And again, I'm not moving the toy. He does really have some great toy drive, but I want him to realize that letting go again is not the end of the game, and that the item's going to be taken from him. So you'll see that as I do some of these lovely find its, the toy is still there, but I'm not going to add movement and make it more exciting for chasing until we kind of do a little check-in. Ready, Kugel? So we might get a lovely little moment. Ready? Try to get his attention. Nice job, sir. So I'm going to feed him for that lovely check-in, and then I'm going to go, are you ready? And we'll go ahead and move the toy again. So we want him to go ahead and practice grabbing and letting go. Because if, again, he can't practice, again, like we've mentioned in the past with some of the toy exchange games, or with take it and drop it exercises, or which if you want to say give or out, whichever. But I want him to realize that letting go doesn't mean the game is always over, or that we're taking the item away. So ready? Kugel. He's like, this is the greatest toy ever, though. He does really love flirt pull time. Nice. Ready? Here you go. Good job checking in. Ready? So I'm going to get a little look. Yes, feed for that. And then again, we're going to go, you ready? And then we'll have it come alive. He's a quick boy. Good job, sir. So obviously flirt pull time. I know Miss P says I would like to come out and play with a flirt pull too. So the benefit of, again, working this on-off switch or getting your boy to get a little excited and then come back from it is that you will be working then at times when he does get excited, nice job, over something else in the environment. We might get a little sit. Yes. So as he's practicing, we want to obviously get him to feel comfortable getting a little excited and then coming back from that excitement. Because in the real world, when we see other things or we see squirrels or another big distraction, getting him to be able to hone in during play means that you can probably also start to help him hone in other adventures. Ready? Find it. So we'll give him a little breather from this one, but I want to see, he's like, hold up, lady, I'm not done. I know it's one of our faves. I'm going to plop it off to the side for just a moment, but I want to see if we can practice. He's like, no, I'm not done yet. Is work a little bit. Ready? Find it. So from that excitement to like help him calm down, I do like, since he is quite an eager guy, is movement can be helpful to help slow the head and the body and become one again. So from here, we might get a lovely little sit. He's like, Lady, I'm very good at dancing. Good job. So if sitting is too hard, but you could get a check-in, so name recognition, an eye gaze, whatever kind of works for you guys at the moment, ready, find it, can be another great way to help him out. So, but let's say I know he's rather toy driven. I'm going to see if I can do a little bit. I put a toy off to the side. I'm just going to grab it real quick. I want to see if we can practice a little bit with having a toy and work the toy as the reinforcement. So sorry I was out of camera range. I was just putting the toy back in my treat pouch. So I like to have toys that are easy for you to hold on to. I know Miss P says, what about me? In a moment, madam. So let's say Miss P is having a little bit of a moment. She's like, I want to come join the fun. I'm just going to do a little find it for Miss P real quick, because she's out kind of hanging out watching everybody practice and do her thing, and then also get some wrestles in the mix. So, but I just tossed a few find its for her in her little bubble. So let's say, for example, you wanted to use toys for engagement. You could, for example, use a toy to, again, build in recall. So right now, I did send a little snack away, but of course he didn't notice it, but I know someone else will find it later. So again, we'll do a little find it. And then from here, as he's distracted, I might go again, Kugel, come. And then for coming, nice job, we could go into some play again. So I know we've mentioned toys in the past for the handsome guy, and he does a very nice job playing. But make sure too that if, let's say, toys are only for him sometimes, like in the sense that he does solo play, he might also get in the habit, ready, drop, nice. He's like, no, I really want to play again. Is he might get in the habit of thinking toys might be for breaking, ready, find it. So if he tends to break them, and Miss P says, that seems awful that I'm not playing right now. Ready, drop. So, and if he prefers toys a lot, remember how we mentioned you could also play with two different toys. So the benefit of sometimes working with your toy drive, and Pepper says, I want it so bad, she says, is let's say your puppy is doing a great job, but he's not quite relinquishing the toy. You could let him win the toy for a moment, and then the game kind of ends because there's no one, tugging. If he turns it into like, oh good, now I'm going to try to eat the toy, I would recommend to go from there into find its. So notice how I didn't turn it into a big deal. So like a lot of times we're like, we have to like, yank it from their mouth or rip it from his little teeth. The problem with that is, and it might turn that into part of the game, and the keeping it away might become part of the exercise. Or he might think that we're enjoying it so much that he keeps doing that behavior instead. So ready? He's doing some beautiful find its. So then I might go, ready? And he's like, Lady, I'm excited. So let's say he really likes the tuggy. I'm going to do a little bit with some engagement with some loose leash walking, even though we don't have gear on. And I would get him to do a few lovely paces. He's like, hold on, I missed a snack. So a few lovely paces here where he's engaged and kind of honing in on me. And I might go, ready? Take it. And now again, the toy comes alive. We're playing a little bit, and he can again win it. Again, it's fine for him to go ahead and win the toy. It can actually build some nice confidence. So again, right here, oh my goodness, what a good boy. And then he can go ahead, he can win the prize. What a good boy. Ready? Google. He's like, that was amazing. So you may find toys to be very helpful for building attention, focus in on you as a reinforcement for doing some sort of task. So really great way to build in the fun for when you're practicing. Ready, Kugel? So we'll do another little find it. We'll bring up again the toy. And you'll see that again, I'm not making it where, again, me grabbing for the toy, oh my goodness, chewing is confrontational. He says chewing and walking is really hard. All right. Cough it up so you can go ahead and chew again for the next one. So I would have the toy up again. It could be up here. It could be in my treat pouch. If he's getting a little eager beaver, I just want to keep him moving a little bit and then get him to do maybe a little sit. Yes. And then take. Nice. So again, you can start to build his abilities of grabbing and letting go as he's doing well with it. If this was really, really hard and too exciting, maybe start with a toy that doesn't have as much oomph in the beginning, so you can help him realize that letting go is still beneficial. Good job, mister. So again, right here, I'm just going to feed him a few snacks for doing this gorgeous check-in. Nice job. Ready? So then from here, as the toy is even on the floor, ready? Kugel says chewing is for losers. Oh my goodness, chew them. So we might go in from our play behavior right into some loose leash walking. He's like, but it's right there. Nice job. What a smart boy. So now again, It doesn't always have to mean that the toy can't be part of the exercise here and there, but I don't want it to be so distracting that he's having a hard time bouncing back. So definitely choose something in the middle. He obviously does like the sheepskin flirt pole and the toy, the tug. So I would recommend, nice job, sir, good find it, ready? Is see if you can test drive a few different toys and see what might motivate him. Ready, take? Nice. So, but you could even do this with 2 toys. So if he really likes the sheepskin tuggy, you could get 2 or one that is similar, maybe a different brand or a different style, and then get him to practice grabbing, releasing, and then rotating through this as another skill. Ready? Find it. But definitely a great way to build engagement when otherwise the environment can sometimes be more enriching or distracting than us. So very nice job, Mr. K. Because again, he's got the distractions of the environment. There's noises in the building. There's his little neighbor over here on the other side and my little one. So definitely a lot of activity off in the distance. And instead he's choosing to stay over here and stay attentive. Chewing is still a work in progress. Ready, sit? But really in general, his abilities to bounce back quicker have gotten much more fluid. And of course, he's been doing a real nice job, you know, bouncing back from in the beginning where novelty could have been really hard for him. His attention span has definitely gotten much better. Good job, sir. So, but we'll give Mr. Handsome, Mr. K, a little breather, do a little find it, but we'll work a few more skills with him. But he's really doing a very nice job.